ever since I found out about these new prompts, I haven't been using any traditional rendering software, because inside Synapse here, I can convert a 2D floor plan into a 3D render in 9.8 seconds, which is real scale. So if I go right here inside Synapse, you can see that I have drawn a floor plan. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's all on the web, and it's collaborative, so you can just work with other people online. Just to share real quick, obviously right here you can choose the walls, and you can draw just like any other floor plan software. So basically you can draw a small room like this. You can open let's say a door here at the openings, you can flip it. So it's very good with drafting as well. But the cool part is that you can do everything inside. And I'm going to show you exactly how just now. So you can even drag and drop furniture like this. You can put it to scale, rescale it, etc. But if we go here at this area that I've already drawn into, you can see that now I can click on this camera icon and click once, for example, in the starting point, and another time in the direction that we want the camera to render at. And here we can also change the focal length, the field of view, or whatever, the height. So we can leave it higher angle, we can leave it at eye angle. And now what this does is that if we turn on live preview, you will see that it will actually render this space in real scale. So the distance between the windows is correct, the windows are placed correctly, and everything else. So we can click here and we can say living room with luxurious furniture, calm and cozy space in high-rise Chicago apartment, overcast setting outside but warm artificial lighting inside. And we can say make the windows full height floor to ceiling, for example 3 meters, whatever. And now we can just use this prompt, we can click send, and in 9.8 seconds it will actually convert this space into a render. Now this is not like a magic wand that you just click generate once and it makes everything perfect, but the cool part is that you can iterate based on this, and I'm going to show you exactly how in just a second. As you can see, it kind of messed up the structure of the things that we have here. It still kept like the distances a bit closer, but the correct way to do this is that if you actually place the camera here and direct it over this way, we can say create a white model render, and we can click send. And now basically what will happen is that we will have a generation that doesn't have any furniture or doesn't actually try to do anything else. It just makes this 3D view that is built on the cloud, it just makes it as a white render, which is like this. And now this is not ideal per se. However, the good thing is that now based on this we can iterate and continue. So now we can say make windows full height floor to ceiling. We can click send. So now it changed the window height. Now what we can do next is we can say make the walls a beige wallpaper, add living room furniture which is luxurious. Now the first way that we try to do it in one go is not going to get you the correct results. If you do this step by step, the actual prompting will work in a way that is isolated and more focused in just one aspect of it than actually doing everything at once, and then it messes up the structure. So as you can see now, it added a beige wallpaper and it also added the furniture. Now what we can say is that we can say make this located in a Chicago high-rise apartment, make it overcast setting outside, and we can click send, and now it will edit this. So if you actually go change by change, one by one with the prompts, it will actually generate a much better result without having to 3D model, which is great because the 3D modeling is already happening in the background once you place the camera, as you saw in the live preview a little earlier. And now it actually did that as well. So now what we can do is that we can say, for example, change the interior color palette to mostly, let's say, dark grayish colors. Give it that man cave look, but add warm lighting inside. So floor lamps, table lamps, and LED recessed ceiling strips. So we can click send. And now let's see how it does with a heavier prompt in terms of the amount of requests that we did. So now as you can see, this is how step by step you can go from drawing a floor plan, which is inside Synapse here, which by the way, you can click the first link in the description to get started for absolutely free, into actually creating a render, which now is beginning to look much better, as you can see, right? So it went from this to this with actually being a bit more patient in terms of prompting it and iterating. And now, even from this, we can change more stuff. So for example, we can say, make the walls olive green, and we can test options. We can say, make the walls blue navy. We can click send. And now you have 2 iterations of the same thing. You can do as many as you want, but this is just to show you so you can compare options. So now we have olive walls here, and now here we'll have blue navy walls, and now you can kind of compare things as you go on. So what is even cooler, you can also do other type of inputs for specific types of materials as well. So we can go over here and we can just type in herringbone texture, and we can click here at the Google images, and we can download whichever one we want. So let's just choose this one for now. We can click save image, and once it is downloaded, I can just select here, I can just upload the herringbone, and we can say replace the flooring with this, and we can click send. Now you're going to see that it does not only change the actual furniture from just the prompt and uploading the image, but also the textures as well. So now we have the herringbone flooring right on the render here. Now, one pro tip that I can give you is that right here is where the big change happens in terms of how realistic it looks. And if you're going to prompt, so after you actually get the scale correct and you place the furniture, whatever, when it's time to actually add the atmosphere, one thing that I've noticed, which I'm not sure why it even works, is that anytime you specify a certain location, like I did here with the Chicago high-rise, it actually seems to perform better with the atmosphere and matching the mood. So keep that in mind. So this is how fast it actually renders interiors. Now we can also move into exterior renders to test this out as well. One thing that I can say though is that right now it doesn't detect the furniture, it just detects walls, windows and doors, so just walls and openings, which are fully real scale if you render it correctly, just like I did here. So if I go over here, then this is an elevation drawn inside Synapse as well, once again with drafting tools, which are just as good as rendering tools. So now let's say this home here, we can go ahead and actually render it. So we can just click on the elevation and we can type in, let's say, render this home in mountains in Norway. So we can just click send. As you can see, once again, I just specify the location for the sake of the actual results being better. And now as you can see, it actually rendered this home in a very good setting. So the render here is very good because it actually matches the scale, the size of the windows, and the location of it all perfectly. So this is a render that we can go ahead and publish it to the community straight away, and we will be able to find this inside the Synapse community. By the way, you can go ahead and try Synapse for free down below. And here what we can do is that we can also test out different materials. So we can say change the walls to stone. Then we can say change the walls to black metallic seams. And we can also say change the walls to light wood strips, and we can click send. So now we're gonna have 3 options. So it did the metallic seams, it did the stone, and now let's see how it does the wood as well. So this is the fastest way just to test new options, which I think is absolutely insane if you just saw what I actually did here. 3 options, all real scale, very good environment as you can see right here, and I mean, I don't know how much better than this you can get with the prompts and the rendering. So for example, then we can choose to iterate on one of these. So we can just choose this one. Now we can also tell it to add something specific, like add a car in the road. What we can also say is add a fireplace with people gathered around it. So we can do this for this one as well. We can also test different moods for the exterior. So we can say, make this nighttime, and we can click send. Now it will turn this render into nighttime. So you can see we can do multiple generations at the same time. It also added the car here. We can iterate even more. So we can say, add a hot tub. We can click send. So you can see that we are doing multiple renders at the same time, and no other software out there allows you to do this. So it actually did the picnic here, and the fireplace is fully separated, but it's not 100% correct all the time. Even the hot tub is not that well placed. It took the river out, which I really liked, but it's just some fun experiments that we can try out here. We can even take this away, for example. We can say turn on warm interior light, so we can even control the lighting. And this is the nighttime render as well, which I think looks very, very cool. It also added the interior lighting here. So I mean, it's very accurate most of the time. You just have to kind of prompt it one by one instead of expecting the full result in just one prompt, because that way it's just gonna mess things up and confuse the artificial intelligence. As you can see, this is what we created in the interior render just based on a floor plan, and this is the renders that we actually created just based on the elevations that we drew inside Synapse. So once again, go ahead and try Synapse for absolutely free by clicking the first link here. And if you actually want a full in-depth tutorial of how to use this tool, you can go ahead and watch the video right here.